Let's go, Tennessee fans. Is it over? Your college football playoff hopes? We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Joey Aguilar, tough, tough, tough game. We start off, though, with a really good completion. But the key thing here was the protection was good. The one thing you did see in this game were these quick screens by Tennessee to the outside were starting to get jumped. So you weren't able to see more of this, but obviously you have Mike Matthews and you force their defenders to make tackles into open space. Was that a hold right there on 23? Maybe so, but Mike Matthews, of course, does Mike Matthews things after the catch, and it ends up being a really, really, really nice game. One problem that you saw throughout this game was these pulls and sideways blocks, whether it's a pull or a zone block. A lot of the Oklahoma defenders were able to jump in and just create a lot of penetration. And you'll see right here, they're not able to do it. They were trying to run twist stunts, and because they weren't able to do it, this allows these pullers to come around very easily to make some critical blocks. Okay, you're able to get the play side sealed basically, and the puller is able to come around and take care of 5, and this gets Bishop into a spot where he is really difficult to stop, which is downhill, man. Really, really, really good run. And this is just sexy, sexy, sexy stuff. Hold it. See if the safety does bite, and if you have space right here, you take it. That is a long mesh point read, and guess what? You're able to get this up and down. And then, of course, Staley continues his fantastic season. All right, we get to this 3rd and 5, and this is a very interesting call right here from Josh. He ends up just running 2 verticals, right? You have a vertical here and a vertical here, and guess what? Aguilar starts off looking to the left, works back to the right, and he hits his big slot, or should I say tight end, number 0, Davis. The protection was absolutely fantastic, and look at this ball placement. Boom! Obviously, Aguilar, one of the most accurate deep ball throwers you will see. Alrighty, we get to the biggest play of the first quarter, and it's by, what's his name, Schroeder or whatever. He was a leading tackler, probably Oklahoma's best defender, and he flies off the edge on this RPO, and he's not blocked for a reason. Obviously, this is by the design of the play. So 70 blocks down. I don't know if he was supposed to go out on Schroeder, whatever his name is. And now Aguilar pulls his RPO, and there's a guy right in his face, and now it's an absolute strip. This backside, it's really hard to put this on Aguilar, right? Because his head is turned, and he's reading this RPO here to the left, okay? It's not that often you feel that this guy's going to be flying off the edge, just absolutely untouched. If that's the case, this is one of the worst Heupel designs you will see. And boom. Okay. So big, 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 big hit. And now we get to this. Okay. First off, this dude's a freak, R. Mason Thomas. He scoops it. You get unlucky that the bounce goes right into his hand like that. So now it's getting stripped. Before I give you this extra angle on the strip, well, if this ball was actually handed off, this is going for a really good gain. Look at the double team you're getting on the play side DT. That's Dominic Williams, by the way. That's really, really, really good stuff. So if this is handed off, you're getting a really good gain. Okay, but it's just a big, big, big play. Now, this is where it gets really interesting if you're me, all right? Or if I'm looking at this like a lot of you are right now. He scoops it, and the first thing here is Kitzelman is doing his job, right? The number one thing we don't want to do is just let him get away easily, right? If you miss the tackle, at least slow him down. The fact that no Tennessee receivers were able to chase this down from behind is sad. Then Kitzelman, this should have been a legal hands to the face right here. That's just never getting called. But if there's replay, they would call that back. So that affected this tackle, even though it was indeed incidental. Okay? But if I'm zero here, yeah, you get blocked. But let's not get blocked easily. Okay? You could see he's starting to ball watch here just a little bit. and he just kind of catches this block and gives up, right? If you keep running hard, you're definitely chasing this down from behind. Now, of course, we have a bunch of Oklahoma viewers that watch this channel. Once you get to here, and R. Mason Thomas obviously is starting to limp, it would be nice that at least one person were to look around to see if there was someone chasing this down from behind. But the fact that it's right here and there's really no one else there, I can't wait to see the all 22 of this. Pretty crazy. Alrighty, so this is where this play gets blown up. And the left guard lets the end, and notice I say end. This is actually an end in a defensive tackle alignment, but in a 2-point stance. This across the way is actually somewhat bizarre. You have a wide 9 technique, which is a wide alignment outside the shoulder of the tight end. Then you have a 0 nose, and then you have a DT here on the outside shoulder of the tackle. And then you have essentially 2 QB spies. And normally this guy is twisting around or whatever, but he actually just rushes. All right, so the left guard lets him go. He's thinking the center is coming out to make this block, and the center is not able to make this block. 16 just has too much penetration, and he is able to make a really good sack. You want to know why you got to recruit the elite athletes? Look at how long his arms are. Boom. That's ridiculous right there. Good play. So we get to the heavy play action fake with a pulling guard, a run fake, if you will, where the guard is pulling around, and you can see that this backer is biting, thinking that this is potentially a run. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind is watch what this backer elects to do. After he sees it's not a run, he actually bails back into coverage, okay? So just remember that for a little bit later in this film study, but honestly, this throw right here from Aguilar is something special. Okay, he waits for Matthews to get into the second window. Yes, of course, it is slightly behind him, but he's still able to catch a football while running with good pace and pick up a very nice first down. Good stuff. Probably this pass protection's best play of the night. Okay, when you win in the trenches, you're going to win a lot of football games. And in this case, the trenches were won while Tennessee ran this spread out mesh concept, and guess what? Brazel is indeed able to catch it, and after a better spot is able to pick up the first down. So this odd front really gave Tennessee issues. This time they're doing that same run fake where they're pulling the guard around, but what happens here is these two have a miscommunication. Okay, they thought you can see 56 has the nose, so 75 is like, okay, if 56 has the nose, I'm going to look for other work. So you can see 75 looks for other work here. 56 thinks 75 is still there. And guess what? The nose tackle eventually is coming through this A gap. And that's a big guy right there. Now, I don't know if this really affected the play or not. But the truth is, this is a really bad interception, protection or not, on Joey Aguilar. Honestly, this just isn't good quarterbacking from Aguilar. You could see this helmet stripe. He's thinking that the safety is just going to be held over by this and won't be able to get over to this post. You can see that this corners, his heels are basically on the sideline. So he is forcing this receiver to basically run into this space and not get outside of him. All right, how many times did you see Brazel have a big catch down the sideline to the outside of the corner? So this gets funneled inside. I don't know if this was supposed to be an outside release. Even if it was, there really wasn't enough room. And an outside release basically is you making sure you're going outside the corner instead of inside. Okay, so corner knows he has safety help to the deep middle. All right, so Aguilar throws it. He thought that helmet just being held over there was going to hold it for a long period of time, and this gets returned for a really nice gain by Bowen. A huge INT right here from Aguilar. It's just bad football. Okay, so this is obviously a really soft alignment. It's basically quarters, and there's a deep guy, running the deep middle. All right, so rarely do we want to throw something deep versus this look. Rarely. All right, you hit a check down here. This is a big gain with 2 timeouts left. What makes you think you can get this football up and down to Davis? And look, I mean, this could have been fair caught. Okay? Really, really, really bad stuff. And then once again, Davis is one of the softest players. Okay? You saw him not make the tackle on the interception return or not hustle hard enough. You saw him also miss a block. I might have cut it out. He was really soft on a block on an Aguilar counter that should have gone for a big gain. And now, this is one of the easier tackles you'll make. 3 didn't even need to jump. So now he's in midair. We just need you to bring him down. Okay, instead, he patty cakes him. That is the softest tackling attempt I have ever seen. And that's a big deal because these interception returns and just return yardage were so big in this game, right? Bowen's INT was a big return. Obviously, Mason Thomas's INT or fumble recovery was a big return. And look, that is a lot of yards. I mean, that is a lot of yards going in the other direction. And look, he's not even hustling. He's not even back in the image. Lance Hurd gets beat really badly to the left side. Man, dude, a check down is feasting on this look right here. It really is. Even with the bad protection, if we're working this check down, we're doing really good things. Even if the protection was good, this ball is just never getting in there, man. It really, really, really isn't. Offensive play of the game for Tennessee. You have a blitz flying off the edge, and you're running a quick out versus inside leverage. This could just be an option route all the way. I think that it is. Protection is really good, and you get this football out to Staley. The corner sees it late, and I think that does affect Bowen's tackle right here, okay? And they both miss it. And you could see these coaches were not happy about that at all, okay? At all. And now it's Staley off to the races. Really, really, really good block right there by Brazel. And this bad boy is taken all the way back to Murfreesboro. Tutty! 3rd and 2, I know we're cutting out a lot of plays, but, man, this was not Josh's best play call. I do not like this play call at all for a few reasons. These are really difficult blocks for these middle offensive linemen. And in particular, one thing Oklahoma did a really good job of versus Tennessee was use a lot of zero-tech nose techniques. A zero-tech nose is directly in front of the center. And you can see at the beginning of this play that this ball is actually to the left just a bit of the quarterback. It might just be me, I don't know. But you can see here that 56 is just not able to make his block. It's a little zone-ish block to the right. This is a very difficult block for the center to get cross-face on the play side DT, who's actually a smaller guy, and that just gets blown up. 74 was also blown up on this play, and, well, there's just nowhere for Aguilar to go. All right, one of the calls of the year right here from Brent Venables, you could see that this was signaled in late. And part of the benefit of the Tennessee offense when you go faster is that you can't really get exotic on the back end, but Oklahoma actually does. And if you're able to do that, guess what? You have a DT's not even ready to fire off here. These longer developing plays that are run quickly, rarely are you going up against really good blitzes. All right, so 10 was right here. He fans around here, and guess what? Yeah, the long play action fake, and yet again, the backside was compromised. Okay, earlier it was 38 that stripped for a touchdown, and now Aguilar really has nowhere to go. Okay, really, really, really good stuff. So now you have some empty yards at the end of this, and I say empty. The game is still in the balance, but you know, the defense does get a little bit softer if they're up by 2 possessions. I don't care who you talk to. But even with this is a weird game for Tennessee to lose, especially with how they started. Obviously, the R. Mason Thomas play was so huge. But honestly, Oklahoma dominated in a few key areas. In the trenches, they were amazing. Tennessee had practically no run game at all. That Bishop run we showed you a little bit longer for 16 yards was the only double-digit rushing yard play that the Vols had in this entire game. There was also the turnovers, right? Not only were the turnovers bad, it was the yards gained after the INTs. And then on top of that, Oklahoma's field goal kicker hit 4 bombs, right? The shortest kick was 45 yards. So when you just start knifing away in all these things, it eventually catches up to you. And that's part of the problem with the Tennessee Volunteers. Okay, I'm going to use a bad pun. But the Volunteers, they're really good under Josh Heupel. There's not many people that are a bigger Josh Heupel fan than me, and this throw is an absolute sizzler, baby. But the Vols are volatile. Yeah, it was bad. I would like to look this up. There's not a team that is more involved offensively or defensively when it comes to defensive touchdowns and just explosive plays and just ridiculousness altogether. And that style is just really hard to win with when you're playing against the bigger teams. Maybe I'm totally wrong on that, but it is. I'm shocked Tennessee lost this game. I really, really, really am. But this is what Brent Venables does. You know, he won a game like this last year as well. So let me know what you guys think down below. We'll talk to you soon. It is Power Hour SEC. Boom. Tonight we are doing fried fish.